I was halfway through a microwave dinner when I heard the mail slot click. Not the kind of sound you'd notice normally, but something about it felt wrong, too deliberate, like someone had taken their time sliding something through, making sure I'd hear it. The air in the apartment shifted, heavy and expectant, like the walls were holding their breath. I set the fork down and walked to the door. There it was. One envelope, yellowed like aged paper, edges curled slightly as if it had been sitting in a drawer for years. No stamp, no postmark, just my name scrawled in black crayon on the front. To Jamie. I stared at it for longer than I'd admit, then bent down and picked it up. The second I touched it, a memory stabbed through my brain like ice water. A wooded backyard, a circle of stones, and something singing under the porch in a voice that sounded like mine but wasn't. I sat down, turned on the kitchen light, and opened the envelope. Inside was a letter. The handwriting was childlike, awkward, letters drifting unevenly down the page. It smelled faintly of mold and old pennies. Dear Jamie, did you forget? You promised. You said it out loud. You swore it in the circle. You said we'd play again when the moon turned red and the cat went quiet. The moon turned red last week. I saw it from under the floor. The cat stopped yesterday. You remember the cat, right? I kept him safe like you asked. I was so good. It's time now. I'm coming back. We're going to finish our game. Love, Korrin. I dropped the letter onto the table and immediately stood up, every hair on my arms rising like static. Korrin. God, that name. I hadn't heard it, thought it, in over 20 years. Not since I was a kid. I remembered a therapist my aunt took me to that talks about coping mechanisms and healthy fantasies. Korrin was chalked up to imagination and trauma. But he was never like the other kids' imaginary friends. He was different. He played games that left bruises, told me to hide things under the porch, whispered at night that my parents weren't really dead, just sleeping wrong. Once I dug up our garden looking for their arms because he said they'd wave when I found them. But eventually the memories faded. I grew up, normal enough, or so I thought, until now. I threw the letter in the trash, shoved the envelope in after it, and buried the whole thing under coffee grounds. I didn't sleep that night, not really. Every creak in the building felt like footsteps. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw something small and smiling behind my bedroom door. The next morning, I found my old red flashlight on the kitchen counter. That's impossible. I lost it the night of the fire. It was my favorite as a kid. Red plastic, duct-taped battery cover, one of the buttons bitten halfway through. There it sat, dusty, warm to the touch, and buzzing faintly in my hand like a low electric hum. When I clicked it on, it didn't light up. Instead, I heard a voice from somewhere deep in the walls. You kept me waiting, Jamie. I dropped it. It clattered across the tile. The lights in the apartment flickered, and then everything was quiet again, except for the rhythmic ticking of the hallway clock. But even that felt off, like it was counting down. Later that day, I found something else. I was looking for my old tax records, digging through an ancient box of books from my childhood, and wedged between the pages of Where the Wild Things Are was another letter. this one folded in thirds and stained dark along the bottom edge. When I opened it, the smell hit me first. Damp earth and metal, like a wet basement after a storm. The letter was shorter than the first. "You're not supposed to forget me, not after what we buried." I turned the page over, nothing else. I stood there for a long time, holding the letter like it might burn a hole through my fingers. My hands were shaking, but not from fear. Not exactly, because somewhere deep in my chest, a part of me remembered. And worse, it missed him. I didn't go to work the next day. I couldn't. Not after what happened with the flashlight and the voice. I kept telling myself it was stress, maybe a hallucination, maybe a cruel prank. But nothing explained the smell that lingered on the paper, or how that letter ended up in a book I hadn't opened in decades. I spent the morning tearing through boxes, old stuff from the attic, sealed since my aunt passed. Most of it was junk. Faded school photos, participation trophies, a shoebox labeled Jamie's Things in blue marker. I dumped the contents out. Action figures, rocks I must have thought were crystals, a dinosaur eraser missing its head, and at the very bottom, a paper crown. It was bent, water-stained, and taped in the middle where it had torn. In thick red crayon, it read, "King Korrin," and underneath, smaller, "Jamie's forever friend." My throat tightened. I remembered this, or at least, I thought I did. But the memory was fractured, like watching a home video with half the footage missing. I remembered wearing the crown. I remembered laughing. I remembered blood on my shoes. I needed answers, real ones. So I drove. The house was still there, though it wasn't a home anymore. Just a rotting husk of boards and scorched foundation. The city had fenced it off years ago after a squatter fell through the living room floor. The tape on the fence said "condemned," but I knew how to get in. The basement window behind the garage was always loose. I cracked it open and climbed through. It smelled worse than I remembered. Wet plaster, mildew, something sharp like spoiled meat. I stepped carefully, flashlight in hand, trying not to breathe through my nose. Cobwebs clung to the beams. The carpet had been pulled up long ago, revealing stained concrete dotted with black mold. My room was still there. The walls were soot gray. Ash melted into the corners like black tears. But I recognized the closet door, even without its handle. I recognized the faded drawing of a castle etched into the wall with a nail. And I recognized the hollow thud when I stepped near the far corner. I dropped to my knees and pressed my hand to the floor. Wood, weak, warped. I pried it up. Beneath was a small compartment, just deep enough to fit a shoebox. My heart stuttered when I pulled it free. Inside was a child's drawing, me and Korrin holding hands under a full red moon. He was taller than me, all black crayon, no face, just a wide smile. I was smiling too, but there was something wrong with my eyes. Just two hollow circles. Beneath the drawing was an old cloth bundle. I unfolded it. Inside was a dead bird, mummified, wings twisted inward like it had died trying to fly away. Its beak was stained red, and next to it, a toy knife. one of those cheap plastic ones from a dollar store, only the edge was jagged and coated in something dark. It smelled like iron. I picked up the last thing in the box, a folded laminated card, torn on one edge, crayon again. It was titled, "The Rules. Do not break them ever. Don't tell grown-ups about Korrin. Don't say I forget when he asks. Don't play if the moon is wrong. Don't lose the knife. Don't go in the closet alone. Don't run. Give him what you promise. If you try to leave, he'll make another you." Something cracked behind me. I stood so fast I nearly tripped. The closet door creaked open on its own, just a little, maybe an inch. I wasn't breathing. I turned to the door and froze. There was writing on the inside wall, scratched into the drywall, over and over. "I don't forget, I don't forget, I don't forget." Scrawled in hundreds of overlapping lines, some so deep they carved into the studs. And then, quietly, almost lovingly, I heard my voice, but I didn't say a word. It echoed from inside the closet. I remember now. I stumbled back, flashlight shaking in my hand. The air turned cold enough to mist my breath. A shadow shifted in the corner of the room that didn't have a source, and as I turned to run, I saw something in the cracked hallway mirror. My reflection didn't move with me. It stood still, grinning, a child's crown on its head, and its lips moved just once before the glass shattered outward. "You came back. Good. Now we can play forever." I didn't drive home. I don't even remember walking back to the car. My hands were scraped, like I'd clawed my way through thorns. My jeans were wet to the knees with something that smelled like pond water and rust. The shoebox was on the passenger seat when I got in. I don't remember bringing it with me. I don't remember wanting to. I drove without thought, without direction, just streets and shadows and the soft, thumping sound of something in my trunk, like a heartbeat muffled by steel. At some point, I stopped at a red light that wouldn't change. That's when the radio came on. No music, just static. Then a whisper threading through it, not over it, like it was under the white noise, rising. My voice, but too young, too soft. "Don't forget the last letter." I nearly tore the glove box off its hinges. Nothing. Then I checked the box again. Beneath the drawing, the bird, the knife. One more letter. My name on the front, written in the same awkward crayon. But this time, the handwriting was mine. Childhood me. I opened it with hands that didn't feel like mine anymore. Dear me, if you're reading this, it means Korrin came back like he said he would. You made him a promise, remember? You said if he made the bad things go away, you'd play with him forever. You meant it. You meant it so much. And now it's time to pay. But it's okay. He's going to help you. He said it won't hurt, not unless you fight. So don't fight. Just remember. Remember the night of the fire. Remember what we did in the garden. Remember the circle of stones. Remember what you buried. And remember, you're not the first Jamie. You're just the next one. I dropped the letter. My vision swam. I pulled off the road and vomited into the gravel, my whole body shaking like it was trying to reject me. My memories flickered like dying light bulbs, flashes of things that couldn't be real but were. The fire wasn't an accident. I lit it. Korrin told me to, because my parents found the knife, found the grave, found the bird and the drawings, and the strange chanting I wrote phonetically in my notebook. They were going to take me away. So Korrin helped me. Just make the bad things stop, I'd begged him. And he did. But not all of me made it out. I didn't go back to my apartment. I couldn't. The lights would flicker. The shadows would speak. The reflection in the bathroom mirror wouldn't be mine. So I went to a motel off Route 6, paid cash, stayed in a room with no mirrors, and duct taped the curtains shut. I haven't slept. Not really. Every time I do, I dream of the closet. I dream of standing inside it and looking out at my own bedroom, of being behind the door, waiting to be let back in. And tonight, I woke up to find the crown on my pillow. He's here. He's in the room. I can't see him, but I can feel him. The weight in the air, the warmth against my skin, the way the shadows won't stop leaning toward me. I tried burning the letters. They came back. I left the shoebox in a dumpster. It was on the foot of the bed the next morning. There's only one thing left to do. I'm writing this down so someone remembers. Because soon, I won't. The last rule on the card, the one I couldn't make sense of. If you try to leave, he'll make another you. I get it now. I was the other one. There was a Jamie before me. Maybe more than one. Maybe dozens. Each one forgetting. Each one remembering just in time to vanish. Buried under the weight of a promise they didn't know they made. Korrin doesn't live in the shadows. He is the shadow. He's the blank space in the photo. The I don't remember in the therapist's office. He's the voice under your bed, promising it's all just a dream if you let him in. And I did. I'm cold now. Tired. There's scratching behind the motel walls, like fingernails across plaster. I can hear laughter outside the door, my laughter. And in the mirror above the dresser, the one I know I covered, I see someone standing behind me, wearing a crooked paper crown. He's smiling. And now, so am I. We're going to play. Forever. If you're still breathing, go ahead and like the video. Subscribe if you dare. There are plenty more nightmares waiting for you. And whatever you do, don't forget to ring the bell. It's the only way you'll hear the warnings in time.